I have been coaching for 27 years and top coaching honors. I held many positions at OCCA. I was All-Region Coach nominated for several times, and then OCCA nominated for Oklahoma Cheer Coach.
I guess I've been coaching high school cheerleading since 1998. Season 28 is starting, so that's exciting. Top honors for me would include the numerous state championships. I mean, well over 50 state championships now, both in performance state and game day state, so that's exciting. Winning grand nationals at NCAA nationals a couple of times, that was fantastic and fun. Winning UCA nationals with high school teams, that's been fun. So I think definitely the high school teams have been fun, but also some of the top honors, like professionally, would be developing a junior high competition and a junior high game day competition and growing that to over 50 teams attending that. That's fun also.
Well, I'm retired from coaching now, but I had coached for 15 years, and my top honors would be a two-time state Coach of the Year.
My name is Kim Wilson, and I've been coaching at Newkirk for 30 years. Some of the top highlights of my career have been Region 2 Coach of the Year, Oklahoma Cheer Coach of the Year, nominee for Specialty Sports National Coach of the Year and being a top 8 finalist, winning state championships 8 times, and being an all-state coach.
My name is Jeff Lee Force. I've been coaching for 32 years. My coaching highlights include winning 64 state championships, being OCCA president, Oklahoma Coach of the Year, and Oklahoma All-State Coach.
How did I get into coaching? I was a cheerleader in high school, and I did have some opportunities to cheer at a smaller school, but I came from a little town in Oskaloosa, Kansas, and wanted to come to Oklahoma State. And by no means was I Oklahoma State caliber, but I've always had the passion. Went to Stillwater High School and was part of administration. And Julie Davis was our head cheer coach and was wanting to step out, but needed a contact at the high school. So I stepped in and was her assistant for one season. And then she left the reins to me. So 27 years later, I finally decided it's time to pass the reins on to someone else.
Cheered in high school. Jeff LaForce came to the camp I was at and kind of recruited me to be on his all-star team, Oklahoma Twisters. He was starting it up, brand new all-star team thing, and I was like, sure, let's do this thing, and kind of got involved in it and loved it. Found that I loved cheerleading way more than I loved gymnastics, and thought it would be more fun to coach cheer teams than coach individual in gymnastics. And then I kind of followed Jeff around for a year with a bunch of schools that he went to, and wanted to try to do some on my own. And one of the schools, Washington, had reached out to him to coach, and he was coaching their rival Wayne, and so he couldn't coach Washington because he coached Wayne. And so he introduced me to their administration and said, I got this guy that he's ready to coach, and he should be your coach. And so that's kind of how my first team that I had, and he introduced me to those sponsors and kind of took off from there.
Well, like many people, if I wanted a job, I needed to be willing to coach. And I was naive enough to think, well, isn't cheerleading just rah-rah on the sidelines? Because I myself was not ever a cheerleader. So I went in blind, thinking that all I was going to be doing is making sure the girls were focused on football games and smiling and being pretty and having fun. And it was a major shock to find out what the cheer world was really like in 1998 when I did take over the program.
I started coaching because I cheered in high school and college, and then when the opportunity presented itself at Newkirk, it was an easy transition.
I got started in coaching as a college cheerleader. I was recruited to do my hometown, Pawnee, for the regionals and state competition in 1992. The routine I did unfortunately did not qualify for state, and I was devastated. So I continued to work and learn, watch videotapes and study. So the next year I did their routine and created a fantastic routine that included words like, hold up, wait a minute, let us put some jumps in it, and whoop, there it is. And we went on to win third at the state championship. And that was enough to keep me motivated and to push me to keep improving and getting better.
Probably my favorite memory is we were headed to Bixby for cheer regionals, and it had iced in Stillwater and there was some black ice, and one of my cheerleaders had an accident. Went off the road and actually flipped her car. And she called, she said, I'm gonna be late to the bus. And I was like, okay, what happened? She goes, well, I went off the road. And I said, are your parents there? And she goes, no, I haven't even called them yet. I was like, oh my gosh, you need to call your parents first. But we ended up changing our times that we competed, and she came, and we actually won regionals that year. So we overcome many, many obstacles. Her uniform has burns still on it from the airbags.
My favorite memory of coaching would be the first state championship that I ever had, 1999. By far, I felt like that I had made a name for myself. I had turned a program into something that had been on the cusp of, but they hadn't quite gotten it. They had changed coaching staffs every year for the past 4 years before I got there. I stayed for 2 years. It was my second year in the position, and I talked the school into taking all these freshmen. They'd never taken freshmen on the high school team, and I was like, we have these freshmen, let's put them on high school. And so just that memory of getting to do that and getting the trust from the school from that moment on was something that I'll never forget.
My favorite memory, you would think it would be the actual championships, the winning. It's not. My favorite memory from coaching are the hugs from the girls, the hugs from my co-coaches, the love that I genuinely felt from everybody I was around, and believing that it isn't just a phrase to say we are family. They were my family. They were my extended family. That is my greatest memory. And then the lifelong friendships that I've maintained with all of them, the number of weddings, baby showers, sadly funerals that I've attended, that love, that is my greatest memory.
A lot of the other memories are so important too, and most of them are the first state championship for any school that I've gotten to work with. That one means a lot for each school. The additional ones are pressure and stress, but it's not the same feeling.
My favorite cheer memory, without a doubt, would have to be state 2009 with Washington High School. Again, I was coaching with Craig and Sheila, but it was the first time that my daughter Madison was on the state floor. I always enjoyed watching our teams compete at state, but watching your child do something that she loves on the floor is a feeling I will never get over. I was so excited for the team. I was so excited for her to finally get to experience what she had been watching from the sidelines for so long. And Washington had had several years without winning a state championship. We kind of had a drop going. And her freshman year, when she came onto the floor, they were able to win state. And it is such a special feeling to win a state championship with my entire family. So on that day, my wife, my daughter, my coaching partner, we all won state, and it was a fantastic feeling.
My favorite memory of coaching is being able to coach and win with all 4 of my children.
I've had the opportunity to work with so many different coaches that their children are on their team. So their children being on their team and me giving them some guidance and me getting to coach them and help them win with their kid has also been some of my favorite memories, because we've done that with so many different schools throughout our life.
The advice I would give to a new coach is to stand firm in your convictions and always hold your ground.
What advice would I give to a new coach? Deep breaths, always be consistent, and realize that the little things really don't matter. It's the big picture, and to know your athletes and what's going on in their lives.
My advice to any new coach would be to never stop learning, be a student of the game, and trust your instinct. Your gut is always right.
As a new coach, what I would tell anybody coming in is to absolutely find people within the community of the cheer world and find a mentor. Find someone that you can rely on to give you guidance, to have people that you can just talk to about any issues you might have. You can't try to reinvent the wheel that first year. That's impossible. If you try to go in thinking you want all the glory, you're going to fall flat on your face. Find people within that cheer community, because they are there. They love each other. And absolutely ask for help. Ask for a partnership. Ask for some kind of camaraderie to where your programs can maybe flourish together. But absolutely, that's the first step. And then after that, remembering that your role with these young ladies is not to be their best friend. So many new coaches are just 5-6 years older than the girls that they're coaching. Your role is absolutely to be their leader, their mentor, their coach. Friendship at that point in the relationship can really derail a program. So that's what I would tell them. Don't try to be their friend. Don't try to cater to anybody that's trying to kind of get you to make choices that's going to benefit them as individuals. It always has to be about the team. It always has to be about the program and the commitment and the goals that you've set, and never about individuals. Then everything else will come with it.
The advice I would give a new coach is to be patient. I didn't have patience when I was younger by any means, but being patient and studying the game. I mean, I spent so many hours studying videos and watching and critiquing and trying to figure out, because cheerleading is so unique. So being a student of the game really helped me. So the patience of it, find every opportunity you can to learn.
I would like for my legacy to be that I got the most out of each kid that came through my program that wanted to be there.
I would say that I was always consistent and fair, that they knew that they could turn to me through good and bad. And people make mistakes. Once it happens, pay your price and move on. It is forgotten. And that it's so much more than what's in a uniform and on the mat. And cheers forever.
I would hope that my legacy would be consistency on the mat. I've been lucky enough to be a part of 64 state championship teams across all 7 divisions and classifications for OCCA. But I won my first state championship in 1997 and have won at least one state championship every year for the past 27 years. And also at Washington, I've been there for over 20 years. We've won 15 state championships, making us the second winningest program in Oklahoma history for cheer across all classifications. And then consistency off the mat. I hope that my athletes would say that I've treated everyone that I've coached the same, had the same expectations of every one of my athletes as they've come through the program. We expect them to be courteous, on time, and work hard. And I hope that's something that I've taught them.
I want my legacy to be that I developed Washington cheer program, and that I established a culture of winning, established some good, hard lessons in life for some kids, but also established the fact that we are willing to do the work that it takes to be a champion. And it doesn't always mean that we're champions, but it means that we are pushing for that consistently. So no matter the makeup of the team, no matter the size of the team, the push for the win and the push to develop to be better is always there. But I feel like my legacy is not only Washington cheer, it is the state of Oklahoma. So like my contribution to the state of Oklahoma is really what I hope I'm known for in the future, and that I really did my very best to give as many schools the opportunity to be a state champion that wanted to hire me. You know, like we travel all over the state, we host these camps, we do choreography, and we really push these teams to be their very best. And we don't just go after the teams that are super talented, we go after the teams that want us to work with them and develop a routine for them that is hopefully a winning routine. And we give them the guidance that they need. We do it because we want to give the knowledge that we've gained, to share the information that we've collected over the years, and to be able to propel them to be a stronger program, and not just a good team for the year, but to really make their school proud of them, and to make their communities proud of them, and to make their entire world great, because we've given them the tools that we've learned over the years and that we've picked up, and not just keep that to ourselves. Like giving that information out is hopefully a legacy I can leave to the state, and help guide future people to give back also, and just share the knowledge that they've gained.
I want my legacy to be for all of the girls that I've coached to believe that I had an impact and an influence in their life. something that they will hold on to as meaningful in maybe the decisions they made in what college they were going to go to, or what career they were going to go into, or believing that they could do something that maybe they genuinely didn't believe it in themselves. I want my legacy to simply be any influence that I had on the girls that have brought them to be where they are now in life. That is going to mean more to me than anything else.
My greatest accomplishment as a coach, I would say the stability and the unconditional love that I have given to many, many, many athletes over the 27 years. And the reward is when they contact you regarding Facebook, or you get their invitations for weddings or baby announcements, and they thank you for the tough love that you demonstrated to them and the consistency in high school.
My greatest accomplishment as a coach was making a positive impact on my students.
The Oklahoma Cheerleading Coaches Association is without a doubt the voice of our industry. I'm proud to have been a member since 1992 when it began. Back in those days, as a lay coach, I didn't have a vote, and I still came to the meetings and tried to be a part of change that was made. I worked my way through the organization all the way up to president, and I'm proud to say that I've been there for most of the major changes in Oklahoma cheerleading over the years.
OCCA has played a pretty big role in the Oklahoma cheerleading world. We've had the opportunity to continue to push for change within our state competition. We didn't have mats forever, and after we continued to push for mats to be on the floor for safety reasons, we introduced mats over 20 years ago now. We introduced the signs and the flags. We wanted the structure changed, and so by the group of coaches of having the organization together and by having our advisory board that came out of our group of coaches, we were able to persuade OSSAA to kind of make some changes as the years happened and not just keep it status quo. Because cheerleading's ever evolving. Competitive cheerleading is still kind of a new sport relative like to basketball or football. And so as our needs change and as safety measures come up and as things develop within the competitive cheerleading world, we had the opportunity to guide OSSAA and help them make some of those changes that made it more like the rest of the competitive cheerleading world. So I feel like that we have done a really good job as an organization doing that. Personally, I feel like that me being president, me being a region rep, I got the opportunity to push for some of those things. We got the opportunity to fundraise and to bring more money to our organization, to give out more scholarship money over the years when we were in charge and when we were doing those things. And so that's a personal thing that we've got to do, and run our change the way we select our all-region candidates and our all-state candidates. And we've made quite a bit of changes over the last 28 years that I've been involved, you know, and so I'm really proud of what we've done as an organization.
The OCCA is absolutely the backbone of the success of cheerleading in Oklahoma. They are the reason that we are where we are, with the rules that are implemented, the training of the coaches, giving the coaches all of the necessary teaching and support that all new coaches and veteran coaches need to keep pushing through, to keep fighting to fight, to keep wanting more for their girls, their programs. And I shouldn't just say girls, I just was always, coaching girls, but the athletes that they are working with. This OCCA, working alongside the OSSAA, were able to make changes that have allowed the cheer world to really focus on what Oklahoma does. I mean, our program is absolutely amazing because of them. I was very fortunate when I first came on to the OCCA that I was asked to step in as a first year and just come in on the board as parliamentarian. Maybe they secretly knew that I like to shut people down when I felt like everybody was going off track a little bit, but I loved it, and I was fortunate to be a part of that. Then moved into the role of vice president, and then obviously I wanted to be a part of the advisory board with the OSSAA as well. But without the OCCA and that organization and their incredibly strong board members, we wouldn't be where we are right now with Oklahoma cheerleading, which we are very much one of the top in the United States of America.
Anytime you're recognized by your peers for your hard work, it feels amazing. It's nice. but I am truly humbled and honored to be inducted into the Oklahoma Cheer Coaches Hall of Fame, especially with this class of inductees that is filled with absolute coaching legends of our industry.
I'm very thankful to be included in the Oklahoma Cheer Coaches Hall of Fame. I think that the people that have been inducted the years before, I've looked up to. I thought they've been pillars of our Oklahoma cheerleading group. You know, they're a legacy of our state. So to be included with those people and those individuals that get that honor in previous years, I'm so honored and thankful to be part of that group of people and to be in the record books as Hall of Fame along with them. So I wasn't expecting it.
For me, to be included into the Hall of Fame I'm so humbled. I'm humbled that my peers appreciate what I contributed and the results that came from that contribution. I'm humbled that people remember me, because I have been out of cheerleading for 10 years now, but I'm so ecstatic to be going in with a group of people that, two of which I very personally worked alongside during my tenure. I would not have had the success that I had at Carl Albert High School without Jeff and Craig working alongside me. I love them as though they are my brothers, and will forever give them credit for creating the coach that I was to become. Their belief in me is how I was able to push through when I was starting to lack belief in myself. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame and having that role just reminds me that everything that I did was to better the program at Carl Albert High School, and if that has left a legacy that the OCCA wants to recognize me for, then I am absolutely gracious, grateful, and humbled to be going in with this fantastic group of coaches.
What impresses me most about my fellow nominees? I don't know that I could be in such a caliber with the amount of knowledge and ability with Grace and Jeff and Craig and Kim. I think that the amount of stability that we have given to the state of Oklahoma for the sport of cheer, the amount of athletes that we have touched over our years in our many different divisions and schools and abilities, I'm pretty humbled to be in this group.
They're just innovators and icons in this sport, and their professionalism and integrity just can't be matched.
What impresses me about Grace Dozier is she is, well, first, I've known Grace for a little over 20 years now, known Grace as a friend, as a colleague. She hired me to work with her program when she was coaching, and she is selfless, she is poised, she is professional, I'm constantly impressed with how she carries herself in every room she's in. She is just so classy, she is so admired, and so kind, and as a coach, when we were coaching alongside her, the kids had so much respect for her that she could also get on their level and be friends with them, but not cross the line by any means. But she was definitely that coach that was well respected by every team member, by all the parents, by the administration, and that's when I think of Grace Dozier, I just think classy. That's the word that comes to my mind.
The thing that impresses me the most about Carolyn is that she's always positive and always willing to lend a hand. She's always the first one to be there. She was president of our association, and she's still always there to help me as the Region 2 rep.
Okay, Carolyn is the greatest supporter and hug giver, and knows just when it's time to let you as an individual coach know that you're doing a great job. And I have no doubt with the programs that she's run and the success that she's had, that's the connection that she was able to make with her girls as well. She is able to give them the support and the love and direction that they need, and that was always so impressive to me. And to this day, I do not miss an opportunity to hug that lady's neck.
What can I say about Craig Hallmark? He's very black and white, right and wrong. There's very little gray when it comes to Craig. He is direct and to the point, but I have to say he is one of the greatest cheer minds our industry has ever seen. He is so smart, especially when it comes to legalities and milking every single point from a score sheet. But more importantly, he loves what he does. He loves this industry and he loves the kids that he's able to work with. And I value that so much in him.
I equate Jeff LaForce with passion and love. And I may cry in saying that. But he is the individual that I came into cheerleading and I got a lust for the winning aspect of it. And I wanted nothing more than to get better and better in that aspect of cheerleading. When Jeff and I started coaching together, the passion grew. And it was no longer a lust for winning, it was a love for the artistry of this sport. And it was a love for his unbelievable, unique choreography and the way he was able to tap into every individual girl's skill set and make them flourish in the program and stand out when they as individuals did not think they were a standout. He was able to do that. And his passion still runs through my blood when I watch a cheer routine. That is what I think of, is the excitement with Jeff LaForce on the sideline of any competition, and he was exactly the same way at every practice.
Kim Wilson. I've had the opportunity to work with Kim for almost 20 years now also. Wow. Almost 20 years working with Kim Wilson. And the same thing, she is tough. She demands those the respect from those kids. She works with, they have 10 to 15 boys that try out for cheer, and she is on top of them like she is their coach. So she is not giving anybody slack. She is making sure that they are meeting the expectations. They have a legacy to fulfill themselves up at Newkirk, and so she's a tough coach. She loves on those kids. She is hard on those kids, and she's wonderful. She is just, I don't know that anyone else could handle that program the way she does.
I would just like to thank my family, Rick and Carly. Somebody a long time ago told me that when you say yes to something, you're saying no to your family. And that's, they sacrificed a lot over the 27 years, but it was a great adventure, and I feel blessed to be able to have had that opportunity. So cheers to you.
I would most like to thank my husband and my family for always supporting me and helping me with words of wisdom or just their physical presence.
To be a coach, if you are married, there is a lot of sacrifices that your spouse and children have to make. Before I came into being a cheer coach, I was the wife of a coach. So I knew the sacrifices that I was making for my husband to coach football and baseball. So in turn, when I started coaching cheer, he knew that he was going to have to make some sacrifices. So I have to thank my husband, Wayne Dozier, for ultimately taking on the role of mom and dad to our two boys when I was absolutely putting cheerleading first in some aspects of my life. And I don't regret that, because I felt like I was able to work alongside both programs as my family, but I would not have been able to do that with success if I didn't know in my heart that my family was happy at home. And that only happened because of my husband. And then my two boys, that one actually really enjoyed coming to cheer practices, and he loved the excitement that the girls would have around him. The other would hide in the corner. He was much too bashful to deal with that. But they were both so supportive and proud of what I was doing. So knowing that even though there were times that I had to make choices where I might be going to a cheer event over one of their events, they never failed to say, no, Mom, they need you. You're their coach. You're our mom, and you will always be our mom, but you're their coach. You have to be there. So without my children and my husband being so supportive, I wouldn't have been able to do it for 15 years without feeling guilt. And I never felt guilt during that time. So I very much appreciate all the love that they gave me.
Gosh. The people that I thank for my success, there's a list. There's a huge list. I didn't do this myself. It's a huge list of people that gave me the opportunity. First off, Jeff LaForce letting me tag along with him for all those school teams that I just kind of randomly hung out with, helped a little bit on the side, but just kind of watched and monitored as things go. So that was a great opportunity that I had that a lot of people didn't have and don't have. The first athletic director that hired me as a cheer coach, AJ Brewer at Washington High School. And so his leadership and guidance, and Linda Simmons as the cheer sponsor that was there that hired me. Her daughter was an 8th grader that year. Her daughter got to win several state championships, like thanking her. I mean, I tell her all the time, like, thank you so much for this opportunity that you gave an 18, 19-year-old kid to coach the school team. So those people for sure, I owe a lot of thanks to, and a lot of appreciation to those people. My mom for pushing me to be a cheerleader at a small school. Like that was an awkward, weird thing to be the first male cheerleader at my high school. And so her guidance and her like letting me do what I wanted to do and be who I wanted to be, my path in life drastically changed when I became a cheerleader. So she was a cheer sponsor when I was in elementary school, and I was always in the hall learning all the cheers and chants and grabbing the palms and doing all that stuff. But then when we moved schools in middle school, like cheer was not even a thought until my junior year of high school. I tried out to be a cheerleader my senior year, and that changed the course of my life. That was not what I was going to do. This thing of working in the cheerleading industry was not a thought in my head. So without her support and her guidance, there's no way I would have done this. So, I mean, I wish I could thank her for that. That is like the most amazing gift that she gave me. I'm very fortunate to get to do what I love. And that doesn't come with, everybody doesn't have that opportunity to do what they love. And the support that they get from home is invaluable. My husband is very successful at his job. I consider myself successful in my job. And we have both discussed over the years, like we understand when we have to be at certain things for long periods of time. We have to go to camps, we have to go to conferences, we are speaking at different functions, and the support that I'm given, that go do it, go do your passion, go do what you want to do, go enjoy your career. We did not get to where we're at in our careers by sitting at home and not taking opportunities that were pitched our way. So I couldn't thank him enough for being so supportive and allowing me to do that. Additionally, my business partner Jeff does the same thing. He allows me to take opportunities that are once in a lifetime opportunities that allow me to do the things that I love to do. So he's married to my cousin Sheila, who their daughter Madison helps run our camps also. And so those family members are, they're truly family. We've been not just cousins, but we've worked together for 30 years. So the fact that they support me in the decisions and the opportunities that I've been given are wonderful things. It allows me to still run the company and still go do conferences in Brazil or Finland or Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, or Costa Rica or Australia, or wherever the cheerleading world takes me. I'm still able to do those things because of the support that I'm given from the family that I have.
There are so many people that I want to thank. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity and the skill to do what I love for a living. It's not lost on me how special that is. I also have to thank Jada Barry Norman, one of my high school friends who I went to college with, who talked me into trying cheerleading in the first place, something I never thought that I would do, and it completely has changed the trajectory of my life. I want to thank my mom and dad for supporting me in anything that I've chosen to do over my life. I absolutely want to thank the coaches that have hired me over the years and given me the opportunity to work with their programs, because I would not have the success that I've had without the opportunities that they've provided. I absolutely have to thank Craig Hallmark, my partner in crime. I started coaching before he was out of high school, but once he came into my life and started coaching with me, it completely upped my game, pushed me, and he has been an encouragement to me, my nemesis at times, pushing me. We work hand in hand together, and I value his opinion and I value his friendship, and this ride would not have been the same without him. I absolutely have to thank my daughter Madison. Anytime you are a coach, sacrifices are made, and typically they're made by your family. I've been lucky enough that my daughter actually enjoys cheerleading and has been by my side for most of my career. But even as a small child, she had to miss out on me being at things, missing softball games and stuff like that. And I appreciate that she never made me feel guilty for it. I love the fact that she loves what I love, and it's such a joy to watch her now as an adult coaching, and to watch even her daughter, who now loves cheerleading. So I want to thank Madison for always being there for me and supporting me. And finally, I have to thank my wife Sheila, who's my ride or die, my best friend, and my biggest cheerleader. Sheila, I could not have had the career I've had without your support, your push, your encouragement. Along the way, you know, there's always been highs and lows, and whether it was a high or a low, you were there for me, and I always knew that. Thank you so much for everything you have done and continue to do for me. I love you, and thank you.
My mentor was Curtis Davis, and he was an amazing cheerleader. Man, mentor on many, many levels, and he was always an encourager. So cheers to you, Curtis.